Today we're going to be exploring the GIMP software a little bit more. What I am going to be covering today would be basically there are filters. So you can put a lot of filters and different kind of filtering, like you can blur the image, you can enhance the image, you can distort it, you can add noise to it, you can do the edge detection, and there are a lot of things which you can do with the filters. For that one we're going to be bringing in our dynos again. Open dynos, and that's nice. Okay, again I'm gonna be enlarging it by holding the control button and uh, scroll in. Okay, this looks good. So again, you can you can get all the filters either by going over here on the top left side, where we have this file, edit, select, view, image, layer, colors, tools, and filters. So you can get to the filters over there, or you can just right click on the image and then go to the filters and then go to the filters and then start selecting it. uh, okay, the first thing we were gonna be looking, reset all filters. Of course, you really want to reselect all the filters to default values, of course. Okay, and then filters and then blur. This is the very commonly used one. Normally you wanna blur an image, you will say focus blur. So it has a lot of things. Either you can actually change the blur shape, you can make it square, you can make it diamond, we have horizontal blur, and we have vertical blur. Okay, and radius, blur radius, like how less or more blur you wanna do. So over here I am actually saying try to blur almost everything, and on the left side I'm just saying don't blur anything. We have blur types. There is Gaussian blur and there is lens blur. So basically it's the how well or how quickly you want to smooth it out. So we have two types of blurs here. Okay, and then we have a high quality of blur or just like a regular blur. Blending options, again we have blending options. Basically we can change the opacity in that one. On canvas controls, we basically can see this kind of a grid or a canvas, and you want to control that one, so you can actually do that, like how you want to move it in or move it out. So this actually gives you that control. Preview is like you want to see while you are testing your blur settings, or you don't want to see it at that time. Split is amazing. You can actually see what's gonna happen, like you can compare it to the original image, and uh, you can compare it to the original image at the yeah, while you are actually changing the settings. So you need to have this preview selected, and split is gonna help you out see the changes gonna uh, happen to the image. Okay, the other is the enhance. So we have anti-aliasing, we have de-interlace, high pass, noise reduction. Right. So if what the software is gonna think is that if there are a lot of things in the noise, so we can actually reduce the strength of the noise, like automatic noise detection and then reducing it. So we can actually change the threshold where the automatic detection of this noise is gonna happen. So we can actually change the threshold for that. So if we increase the strength, uh, the automatic detection is gonna think that everything is noise, so it's just gonna kind of smooth it out. That's a nice one. Okay, another filter we have here inside the uh, enhance. Did we try the anti-aliasing? So basically, anti-aliasing doesn't give you a lot of feature. It just applies it right away, and then make a lot more. It didn't do like from a difference point of view. Like I didn't see any difference when doing the anti-aliasing. Okay, deinterlace. It does give you an option here, and then uh, you can keep even fields or you can keep odd fields. So basically it's gonna consider the image as a grid and gonna affect only the horizontal or the vertical. You can actually put them like in there and then select the even field or the odd field based on that, and uh, it's gonna just smooth those out. Don't know when you would need it, but you have the ability to select either the even field or the odd field when the orientation is horizontal or vertical. So uh, you can actually linear it out uh, while considering only specific fields. Okay, high pass is this one, and you can actually change the contrast for the high pass. So basically, it is a filter which high pass filter. High pass basically what high pass means is like it's gonna look at the frequency, changing frequencies, and it's gonna let the high like the changes where the frequency is high. It's gonna let it go through, but it's gonna cut off all the changes in the colors where the image where the frequency or the changing frequency was very low. So that would be the high pass, letting uh, all the changes go through where the frequency or the changing color frequency was very high. It's gonna let it go through, but it's gonna block all the low frequency changes. So that's our high pass. Again, it allows you to change the standard deviation and the contrast for that, and you still get the split changes and the preview if you want to preview it while making the changes. Nice. uh yep. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, noise reduction. Again, I think we already covered that. Filters, enhance. Okay, red eye removal, of course. So it does give you a threshold, right? And wherever it sees like a red color, it just tries to remove that. It just basically uh, try to replace it with black. The more red it's gonna be, the more you will see that. Uh, if you are really hate the color red, this tool can be used to remove all the red stuff or all the red, because every color can have like in the RGB combination it can have some red, so it's just gonna detect that red uh, and then keep removing that. Okay, filters, enhance. Okay, we did this one. Then we have the symmetric nearest neighbor, right? Noise reducing edge, preserving blur filter based on the symmetric nearest neighbor. So wow. So it is a filter where it's gonna look at the nearest neighbor and it's gonna look at the symmetric nearest neighbor. So it's basically nearest neighbor. It's gonna look at the nearest symmetric neighbor, and I is gonna look for another I on the which is very close to it, and it's gonna put that into filter to kind of uh, remove the roughness of it. So let's do one more time. This is gonna get changed with the default setting. It's gonna get changed to this one. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. So enhance can also have the speckle, remove speckle noise from the image. It's a particularly like a not like a regular noise where we were, but this can you can actually change the radius, black level, and the white level in order to remove this particular noise, which is the speckle noise. Okay, what else we have? We have NL filter. Okay, layer filter. So it's the Swiss Army knife filter, non-linear Swiss Army knife filter. And this is another thing, if you actually click on something like with the F1, you can actually get to the help, right? Uh, and if so right now the simple help is gonna be if you hover over some options here, it will tell you like if you wanna the wavelet decompose. It will have sometimes it will have like a basic uh, basic uh, like a tagline explaining what you should expect it to do. And otherwise you can definitely go to the help, and we will cover that sometime where we're gonna go through the help too. But right now, if you we're gonna cover all the filters for now. Distorts, we have now inside the distorts we have all these options where we can uh, like basically this is gonna be the one is like where we were removing the speckle sound and we were speckle noise and different kind of noises, but over here we are distorting basically the image. This is apply lens. It looks like the two dinos are looking into a lens or a circular frame, circular glass, and then that's how they're gonna look like. You can change the background to anything you want, right? And then you can select the color from there, and then you can have the modes again. uh, you can have different kind of modes here: color erase mode, behind mode, normal mode is gonna be like that. So this is where you can apply the lens effect. Another filter for the distort, oops, another filter distorts is the emboss, right? So simulates an image created by embossing. So that's how it, to me it looks like when someone is framed on a wall, or kind of an image into a clay, like an 3D image created using clay. That's you can actually change the elevation of that. So how much you are putting clay on this uh, kind of thing, like you can change the azimuth, you can change the depth of that and the elevation of that in order to make it more clear. So that would be embossing something. Okay, again engraving. Okay, and you the only thing you can do while engraving someone is to change the height of engraving it. Okay, and then we have, we definitely don't want that. filters, distortion, engrave, lens distortion. So you can have a lens distortion where again it's a similar kind of lens, but it gives you a lot more options compared to just putting things into. So now you are actually creating like how much shift X, shift Y. So over there was just a default lens, but over here you can actually uh, they have given you a lot of controls over how much of an image you want to show and how exactly you want to change or distort this image into a lens. Okay, this starts. Okay, this is the kaleidoscope. It's gonna be very odd here, like it's gonna just change it to a kaleidoscope, and it does give you an options. How many eyes do you want? How many? Where exactly you want to move it to the uh, on the frame? Like what's gonna be the offsets here, and where would be the center? It does all the stuff needed for a kaleidoscope. Okay. Okay, then we have another one. We're gonna go through all of them like just by reading through them. Mosaic is a filter which transforms an image into what appears to be a mosaic. Okay, compared to a small primitive each of constant color and of an approximate size. We have newsprint. We have polar coordinates. If you wanna see that, it's gonna definitely change it to a polar coordinates. Uh, Kind of a 3D ball. So how else we can distort the image is by shifting ripple. Ripple is like you are actually giving it a ripple effect. Okay. Filters, distort. Okay. Spherize is like kind of it uses an algorithm where and you can actually change the angle of view too, but basically it's gonna kind of putting a sphere effect in the center, so that's how it does that. Okay. Okay, video degradation, waves, of course it's gonna change and to introduce the waves, whirl and pinch, wind. Wind is like some wind is coming through, and it is actually sometimes you or in a situation where you can where you need that one where you basically wanted someone to, so if there is an image of person running and you want to show the effect where the person is running with a very high speed, you can use that in order to show the wind effect. Okay, emboss, it's a legacy, it's very similar to that one. And page curl, page curl, lower left. Unfortunately, it does not show. Oh, it's just like a page curl. Okay, I have not used that, but I have seen it. People using it, where this is basically you are curling the page. This is nice, and they provide you the settings in order to how much curl you wanna see it and how you wanna see it. You may have seen some images where like people are trying to display their uh, like a family photo book. So you can actually use that to kind of show that mimic that you are actually changing the page now. So that is it with the distortion, light and shadow. Light and shadow. You can bloom, you can supernova, lens flare. So again, this is gonna be putting lights and flare, where exactly you wanna put some flare in it and a glow, and like basically introducing. Sometimes the images do come with the flare where there is some light turned on top of the image, on top of the camera. So you wanna If you want to introduce by yourself, you can do it over here. Filters, lights and shadows. We're gonna just try one more here, which is the sparkle. Okay, luminous threshold, intensity, spike length, and then it's gonna sparkle. This is another one you may have seen some other tutorials where of GIMP where people wanna uh, add the spot like the show the tutorial how to put the eyes under some mask and like make the eyes very shiny. You can definitely use that. Like this is called the sparkle filter, where if someone has a mask on, you can actually introduce the sparkle in there. Okay. Noise is basically you are creating the noise here. So they didn't put noise into the distortion here, but like because it's not really distorting, it's basically gonna be adding different kind of noise, like the spread noise where everything is noisy, and filters, noise, pick. These are different kind of noises. Now we're gonna be looking into the edge detection where you can have a lot of edge detections here. So it's gonna be using some filters in order to detect the edges, and you can actually uh, tell him like the radius of the the filter which have been used to detect the edges. Okay, and inside the edge detection there are different methods. One is the Gaussian. We just looked into image one. So basically it's gonna if you really want the edges to be detected and you wanna uh, you can like if you wanna point them out separately, this can be used for that. Okay, edge detection is there. The generic one is like gonna select. So oops. So there is generic one where you have the distance map, convolution matrix. So I'm not I'm not really aware of like this story filters. Like the generic filters. These are basically are for used for filtering, but haven't used that. We have combine, artistic. Let's try an artistic one here. So if we have a cartoon, so it's gonna try to make that like it's gonna put that thing into this artistic filter. It's a cartoon. Try to make the cartoon, and we have the like the even the mask radius and the percent black. How much black? Like how much how much I will say how much black how much of a black color you wanted to introduce in this cartoon picture. That's nice. Okay, so artistic is fine. Like it's gonna introduce a lot of them like artistic effect to it. Okay, I think that's enough for today. We have animations too. Let's blend that one in, and then message is like needs to have at least three source layers. So yeah, so you can actually animate like so this filter, the animation filter, if you have multiple layers, and so it's can actually like render it to uh, it can actually render them, and it's gonna kind of make an animation for that. And that would be it for today.